Hey there, so you're checking out Markham, huh? I bet you already watched a bunch of videos about why Markham is so great and all the reasons to move there. But let's keep it real, Markham isn't perfect for everyone. I'm gonna break down my top 6 reasons why you might actually want to think twice about moving here. Time for some straight talk about why Markham might not be your jam. Let's dive in. If this is your first time in the Living in the Greater Toronto Area channel and you want to know everything about living in the Greater Toronto Area, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Toronto, Ontario. My name is Antonio and my business partner is Van. We get calls every day from people just like you, so whether you are moving in 9 days or 9 months, feel free to reach out as all of our contact information is in the description box below. We will be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Greater Toronto Area. Let's jump back into the video and dive into the first reason why you might want to reconsider moving to Markham: safety. A quick Google search for car thefts and robberies in Markham reveals a long list of incidents extending well beyond the first page. With the surge in immigration over the past few years, crime has become a common concern across the entire GTA, and Markham is no exception. While this is true, one reason thieves target the area due to the higher percentage of wealthy residents in Markham. Similarly, car thefts occur more frequently because luxury and expensive vehicles are more prevalent here. However, according to an article from the Bayview Post magazine in its November 2024 issue, Markham was notably absent from the list of areas where the most crimes in the Greater Toronto Area, the GTA. Despite previous negative news surrounding certain incidents, Markham still maintains its reputation as one of the safest suburbs outside Toronto. Reason number 2, transportation. Unfortunately, having a car is almost essential if you're planning to live in Markham. While the city has everything you might need, it's also one of the largest suburbs outside Toronto. For example, traveling from one end of Markham to the other can take around 20 minutes, and that's without factoring in traffic. Markham is served by only 2 main highways: Highway 404, which runs north to south, and Highway 407, which goes west to east. However, the 407 is a toll highway, adding extra costs if you rely on it regularly. With limited highway options, getting around can sometimes be a bit of a challenge. That said, Markham does have a few GO stations that provide convenient access to downtown Toronto without a car. However, most residents of Markham rarely travel downtown unless it's for work or a specific reason. Markham is a vast area within your region. In fact, it's the largest in the region. Without a car, it can be quite challenging to manage daily errands, whether it's dropping off kids, grocery shoppings, or attending activities. In many cases, households in Markham need more than one car, which can significantly increase monthly expenses. If you hate being behind the wheel, Markham probably gonna drive you nuts. Seriously, this isn't the place for you if you're not into cars and driving. On the flip side, if you enjoy driving, you likely appreciate that most roads in Markham are significantly wider than those in Toronto, making the driving experience much more pleasant. Reason number 3, nightlife. If you're seeking vibrant nightlife like downtown nightclubs, exotic entertainment, or 24-hour eateries, Markham might leave you disappointed. The options are quite limited, and while Markham is one of the most ethnically diverse cities, its large East Asian population means the dining scene is often dominated by Chinese cuisine. That's not to say Markham doesn't offer other types of cuisines. In fact, there's a wide variety to choose from, including Mediterranean, American, Indian, and much more. However, Chinese food is by far the most dominant option. Before the pandemic, entertainment in Markham was largely centered around pool and snookers hall, as well as karaoke bars that often stay open late in the night. Post-pandemic, however, this option have significantly decreased, and the nightlife scene, including nightclubs, doesn't quite compare to the excitement of downtown Toronto. If you can look past that, though, Markham could still be a great fit for you. Reason number 4, competitive education. Look, Markham got some seriously good schools. We're talking about public, Catholic, French immersion, you name it. And yeah, places like Arts Unionville at Unionville High School are pretty famous. But here's the thing, it can get super intense here. Kids are constantly trying to one-up each other, both in class and in after-school stuff. It's like a non-stop competition, and honestly, that kind of pressure isn't for everyone. Some kids just don't thrive in that kind of environment, you know? And don't even get me started on the private schools. Sure, J. Addison School got that fancy IB program, but those tuition fees, it is expensive. So yeah, while the education is top-notch, it definitely comes with some baggage. If you can navigate the competitiveness and afford the cost, Markham offers some of the best education opportunities in the GTA. Reason number 5, food and diversity. So here's the thing about Markham, the food scene is kind of one note. Let me break it down for you. Like most Toronto suburbs, Markham's super diverse with people from everywhere. But what really stands out is the huge East Asian influence. No joke. According to the latest Stats Canada numbers, almost half of Markham folks are Chinese. Let's take a look at Pacific Mall as an example. Fun fact, it's North America's biggest indoor Asian mall. Opened back in the mid-90s when tons of people were moving here from China. What happened next? All these immigrants and their kids started opening up shops and restaurants all over the place. Drive down almost any street in Markham and you'll find Chinese restaurants everywhere, sometimes entire strips dedicated to them. While this is a paradise for fans of Asian cuisine and kosher, those seeking a broader variety of food options might find it less diverse, as Asian restaurants and grocery stores dominate the local culinary scene. But you know what? This strong cultural vibe in Markham is actually pretty cool. As the city grows, it's totally natural for people to gravitate towards others with similar backgrounds and interests. If you're new here, being open to different cultures or sharing the same one is huge. It's what Toronto all about, and it really helps build that sense of community. So what do you think? What's your take on living in Markham? Reason number 6, expensive housing. One of the biggest drawbacks of moving to Markham is undoubtedly the housing market. While Toronto is known for its high prices, Markham, located in your region just north of Toronto, often surpasses it in cost. Despite being considered a suburb, Markham's housing prices are surprisingly even higher than those in Toronto. If you're on the hunt for a cheaper house, Markham probably isn't the place for you. Home prices here can really hit your wallet hard. Honestly, if affordability is what you're after, you might want to look elsewhere. Let's begin by looking at the average prices for all types of homes in Markham and comparing them to Toronto. By all home types, I mean single detached homes, semi-detached homes, townhouses, and condominiums. As of November 2024, the average home prices across all property types in Markham is $1,300,587, surpassing Toronto average of $1,111,099. This demonstrates that suburban areas like Markham are actually more expensive than Toronto, a trend that has persisted for a long time due to the consistently high demand. Let's break this down by asset class. In November 2024, the average price for detached homes in Toronto was $1,695,939, while in Markham it stood at $1,714,983, once again exceeding Toronto's average. For semi-detached homes in November, the average price in the city of Toronto is $1,248,930 compared to $1,226,500 in Markham. While Markham is slightly lower, the difference is minimal, making the prices virtually comparable. In November, the average price for freehold townhouses was $1,166,686 in Toronto and $1,229,200 in Markham, once again showing that Markham's prices are higher than Toronto's. Lastly, the average price for condo apartments in November was $713,364 in the city of Toronto and $681,151 in Markham, slightly lower than the city of Toronto. As surprising contrast, overall, as you can see, Markham is typically one of the more expensive suburbs outside of the city of Toronto. If budget is a key factor in your decision to move to Markham, it's something to carefully consider, and this is exactly why you won't want to move to Markham. Here are the top 6 reasons why you might reconsider moving to Markham. First, while no city in Toronto can claim complete safety due to the recent crime activity across the GTA, Markham still ranks relatively high in safety despite this reality. Second, it's difficult to get by without a car in Markham, so be prepared to invest in one. Third, don't expect the vibrant nightlife or numerous attractions you find in downtown Toronto. You might find Markham, Ontario a bit underwhelming in that regard. If you are a parent who prefers not to put too much academic pressure on your children, Markham might not be the ideal choice. While there's nothing wrong with the education here, it can be a bit competitive. If Chinese food and culture aren't what you're looking for, it's worth noting that they are deeply ingrained in Markham. This isn't about discrimination, it's simply a reflection of the significant Chinese influence in the area, along with a growing South Asian presence. Ultimately, if you prefer a community without a strong culture presence from a minority group, Markham may not be the right fit for you. Last but not least, if you're looking for affordable housing, Markham is definitely not the ideal place. Hey, those are just my thoughts on why Markham might not be for everyone. There's no right or wrong here. It's all about what works for you. Drop a comment below if any of this stuff hits home, whether you are Markham local or not. I'd love to hear your take on this. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.